Hi everyone, welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to be making wax melts using a coconut blend wax, one I've never used before. So I'm going to be using a UV inhibitor, another product I've never used, and also apple harvest fragrance oil from Candle Science. So thanks for stopping by. Let's get to it. Okay, this is the second of my series of making wax melts using different waxes. So far I have made the 6006. I have made some previously that I didn't record, so I will make those and record them over. So today I'm using coconut paraffin wax that I got from Northwood Distributing. It comes in a 5-pound loaf. It was the smallest one I could get. And it was a little bit pricey. It is twice as much as the 6006, so I'm going to really have to love this stuff before I try to get some more. And the maximum fragrance load is 10%. So it is a natural coconut wax and food grade paraffin. Now, a lot of times wax will tell you what percentage paraffin and soy or coconut, whatever, but this one doesn't really say. The melt point is 125 to 130 degrees. And it sounds like it says, we're so excited to bring you this wax. So maybe it's a new wax, I'm not sure. The scent throw is amazing and the wax melts last so much longer. So I mean, that is definitely a plus. If it really does what it says, then it may be worth the extra cost. And they suggest using a 10% fragrance for a nice strong scent. Now I have used only 6% fragrance in my 6006, and I think the fragrance throw is really good. But I have heard that some people do go up to 7 to 8%. And I may have to on some of the weaker smelling fragrances. And it does say you need to allow 1 week for it to cure with most fragrances. So I'm not going to know. I'm just going to have to do all of it. And it says it easily cuts with a straight edge soap cutter. I'm not really sure. It looks harder than the 6006 that I just cut. But we'll see how difficult this is going to be, and it's going to be pretty hard. It may be impossible for me to cut with this. Okay, so I had to go get my husband to cut it. I could have done it, I think, but why struggle when he's right out there, and he struggled too. It was a little hard, and finally it just broke off in pieces, and I weighed out 1 pound, and I've got it melting right now. But not only is it really hard, but it just kind of crumbles in little pieces, but not that much. I mean, I was able to scoop it up and put it in there. There was like maybe 1 ounce that cracked off, but I'm going to put this in something else. So what else I'm going to use today that I've never used before is the UV inhibitor. So I've looked it up, and I use 1 teaspoon per pound of wax, and I have heard Black Tie Barn, Wade Thomas, I don't know why I think Alan, I think he has an alter ego. I don't really know. He uses another name sometimes. He pretends he's himself and somebody else at the same time. I have seen one video like that. He may have been Alan at that time, but anyway, it was funny. You need to check him out. He really knows what he's doing, but he does put UV inhibitor in all his candles and all of his candle melts. So I found out this summer I had like a little pop-up close to my home, and it was really hot, and a lot of my candles, especially the darker colors, they just started fading. And now they're still kind of like motley looking, but I don't think it really affected them, but it definitely affected the way it looked. So I probably just have to use simple myself. So since I may be doing some outdoor shows, I've got one I think coming up in May that I may do, and hopefully I can find one before then I will be using the UV inhibitor to try to prevent that. I should have been doing it all along, but so far most of the candle melts I've made have been white, other than some of the liquid dye I put in them. So the fragrance I'm going to be using is Apple Harvest that I got from Candle Science. I have bought some of these little 1 ounce samples, but also you get them free. So I don't know whether I bought the other one or if I got it free, but I actually have 2 Apple Harvest samples. So I figured one of them is at least free, because I didn't remember I had the other one when I got this one just the other day. And it does smell really good. And it says about it that it is a good year-round fragrance. So I'm sure it might be a little more popular during the fall, but apple scent is one of my most favorite fragrances to use. And I know other people that way also. So I'm going to give this one a try, and I'm going to use the whole bottle for the 1 pound because it says it can be used up to 10%, and the wax actually recommends that you use 10%. So, and then I'm going to use red liquid dye. So I'm going to test this out a little bit on something white just to see how bright it is. Because again, it's a guessing game. So I could have a pink apple, I guess, but I would like to have a red apple. So I want to check on my wax in a minute and see how it's going. Okay, I've added my UV inhibitor, and I've added my fragrance, and I've added my dye. I use 6 drops. It looks kind of weak, but I'm not really sure. But I'm thinking it's cooling down pretty fast. It's 182, and it says at 200 degrees add the fragrance and pour. So that's not allowing you for much time to let it sit up. But also I don't want to pour it so hot that it melts my my clamshell molds either. But to be sure, they use the same kind of clamshell molds as what I do. So here we go. We'll give it a try. Ooh, making a mess. This is the first time I've actually used this little pot with a whole pound in it, so yeah, making a mess. I wish it had a little bit of a sharper point to it. And maybe I'm just in too big of a hurry. And I always worry that my table's not sitting straight, especially after cutting that hard wax. It may not be. I'm not sure how many this is going to make. It should make around 6 or 7. I'm hoping this is enough to finish this one out. It's much easier. The first one I just kind of, I'm not sure that one has quite enough in it. You can see a little, I don't know, a little edge up there that you want to get it right up there to it. And I think if it ran over, it could be because it wasn't sitting straight. I don't think that's enough. So I'm going to pour this in a couple of these. And that's about it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're kind of scattered all around the place because I kind of panicked when I started spilling. But they look pretty right this minute. I don't know what they look like. They smell really good too. So it won't take them long. But it is, I don't know, it's pretty warm in here today. So I'll show you in a few minutes. I've got to make a label for it, and I'll show you what they look like after they set up. Okay, I have now made my labels. So I'll try to show you what they are, but I'll give you a closer look in a minute. So I had to print off some more and change my main label, which is like this, to say a coconut blend wax is what I put. That's what they called it. So then I made the little insert, Apple Harvest. I didn't try to change the name. I should have called it Pink Lady, because I'm going to show you in a minute. It didn't really turn out red, it turned out more pink. So I have created my labels, and it's these down here at the bottom. So I did want to show you, again, I'm trying to test these. I made a big mess here, and I've had to clean up a couple of them. Still got to clean up a little bit more when they get a little bit cooler. Got to be more careful with that, or use something different to pour with. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, it's smooth, but you can kind of see the little dips in it. Which, I mean, I've had candle melts to do this before, so it's not just that it's this wax here. I'm sure there's other waxes that do it too. But I just want to compare it with the 6006 one that I made. And the white may not show up as much, but to me it doesn't look like it has not as individual dips as what this does, even though the description says it has minimum shrinkage, and I'm thinking that's what that would be kind of tightening up and shrinking. So anyway, they do look fairly pretty. This one, like I said, is really, I've got to clean it up, and when I scraped it up, it just kind of crumbled, just like it did when my husband was cutting it. It really crumbled. So I'm going to gently close it up, all of them, and turn them around so I'll be sure not to put the label on upside down. And then I'm not going to open them or touch them again for a day or so, and there's no need to, because it's supposed to cure for about a week, and I'm going to try to stick with that and let it cure for about a week before I try it out in the house. So okay, put these labels on as straight as I can. I do enjoy all parts of this. I enjoy creating the labels. I may come up with a different design before long, but so far I'm pretty happy with it, which I did change it this time. I had a house for the H, but it messed up and I couldn't seem to get it back again. And I kind of, when I looked at it every time, I wasn't really happy with it before, because it made me think it was saying Gnomestead instead of Homestead. So I've got it H, Turner Homestead now. So and I'm going to give you a closer look at these. And again, a couple of them's got to be cleaned. Okay, here's the final product, which I think turned out pretty good. And I'll be testing it in about a week. And like I say, this is one that I did clean it up some. But it had that one too. There was the big mess. Might could have made another whole candle melt if I hadn't spilled it, but oh well, that's the way it goes. So overall, a productive day, I think. I've had fun. Hope you guys did. Okay guys, that's about it. That wraps up this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I know I've had fun. Please, if you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. And what else do they say? Subscribe and hit that bell notification. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.